Hey there, Knicks fans. Harris Rubenstein here for NBA Weekly. The NBA season is officially over, so the offseason has officially begun, and there are plenty of New York Knicks news and rumors to sort through. So without further ado, let's get right into those rumors. All right, let's get into some New York Knicks rumors. Let's start with our first one. Is LeBron James coming to the New York Knicks? Well, I want to be nice to Knicks fans here. I don't want to completely squash their hopes and their dreams and everything that they know and love because I will get killed on Twitter. So I'm only going to give this one crying Jordan head for now. I'm not calling it fake news just because no one really knows where LeBron James is going to go this summer. Why should the New York Knicks be taken completely out of contention for that? Stephen A. Smith says that they might be in the running. And we have to remember, the Knicks were a legit option back when LeBron initially left the Cavs back in 2010. Like, they were one of his top 3 teams that he could end up going to. I think now it's obviously, the situation has changed. It's obviously 8 years later. And now the Knicks are in a little bit more of a cap issue. It wouldn't just make sense for him to jump right on. They only have about $25 million in free cap space this offseason, so they would have to move some pieces around. But I wouldn't take this completely as a no if I'm a Knicks fan. There's still a remote possibility that LeBron could go to the Knicks. As of right now, the main 3 teams he could probably leave for are the Lakers, the 76ers, and the Rockets. So we'll see what happens with LeBron, but going to the Knicks at this point doesn't seem very likely. What about Kyrie Irving coming to New York, though? How's that for a sense of likelihood? Well, I personally think that this is a little bit more likely than people are actually giving this one a lot of credit for. This is coming from Chris Mannix of Yahoo Sports, who was talking about how we might end up seeing the Knicks make a run at Kyrie Irving if he doesn't reach an extension with the Celtics. So I'm giving this one 2 crying Jordan heads. People are talking. Now, the Knicks should be considered a real threat. That's at least coming from Chris Mannix. We know that Irving is going to be a free agent, in 2019. And he says that the Celtics should be scared of the Knicks maybe being a move for Kyrie Irving. Kyrie's comments when he was asked about an extension the past couple weeks, they weren't up in the air. He basically said, I want to be here long term, but I need to focus on this season. We'll talk about it we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So long way to go in terms of what's going to happen with Kyrie Irving and the Boston Celtics. But for now, him coming to the Knicks, only going to give it 2 heads. Let's get to our next rumor. Is Mikal Bridges coming to the New York Knicks? Now, we've been talking about this guy a lot in terms of who the Knicks could draft at their spot of number 9 overall. Only getting this one 2 crying Jordan heads. We've really kind of, when we talk about teams and draftees coming up in the draft, we usually give them 2 heads because no one really knows where these guys are going to go. But in terms of Mikal Bridges, it's an interesting one. This is someone that I've mocked to them multiple times, someone that they've been mocked to many times from other media sources. But Mikal Bridges is saying that, quote, he's more NBA ready than some of his peers and that he would bring some outside shooting and defense to the Knicks. I think he's the safest possible pick that the Knicks could take at number 9 overall. He might not be the superstar that some of the other picks in the top 10 could be, but he will without a question become in and instantly be able to help this team in the short term. I think he could end up being one of the better 2-way players in the NBA if everything works out for him. He's a very good base to grow from, like we saw with Kawhi Leonard when he came out, so maybe we could see a similar kind of, growing in the NBA for that. A very good base for Mikal Bridges to grow off of in the NBA. All right, let's get to our next rumor. Is Collin Sexton the point guard of the future for the New York Knicks? 2 crying Jordan heads on this one. He's had a private workout with the Knicks already. They interviewed him at the Combine, and he's going to be on the board at number 9 overall. Now, I've been getting some hell in the YouTube comments for saying that I think that Frankie Smokes is going to end up being more of a 2 guard than a primary point guard. I stand by that. I don't think he's a primary ball handler in the modern day NBA. I think he's going to end up being like an Avery Bradley kind of player. I think he's going to be a solid 2 guard who can play on both defense and offense. I think he's a guard. I don't think he's a point guard. but I think that Collin Sexton could be that guy for the New York Knicks. He's my number 2 point guard. He's my number 10 overall player. I think the passion and the playmaking and the versatility that he brings to you on both ends of the floor is just fantastic. I think he'd be a great fit with New York. People also saying that, oh, what about Trey Burke and Emmanuel Mudiay? Look, if Trey Burke is what's stopping you from drafting a top 3 point guard in the NBA draft, then you need to reevaluate your talent. I don't think that Trey Burke is that good of a player to give up on a prospect like Collin Sexton. But we'll see what happens in the draft. I still don't think that guard should be completely taken off the board for the Knicks. Let's get to our next rumor. Is Wendell Carter Jr. the pick at number 9 overall for the Knicks? Only going to give this one 2 heads at this point like we have with the other college prospects. Look, I think Wendell Carter, if he's on the board at number 9, should instantly be the pick for the Knicks. Absolutely, no questions asked. He'd be a fantastic fit next to Kristaps Porzingis, but the real question with him is whether or not he's actually going to be on the board at number 9 overall. It's not, it's not a shoo-in. I think he could easily go to the Bulls at 7 or the Cavs at 8, maybe even higher like the Magic at 6, but we'll see. But with Wendell Carter Jr., he's very clear that he likes what the Knicks are trying to do. He says, quote, they're trying to be that old Knicks team and bring back the physicality that they used to have. And if you're looking for physicality down low, especially on defense, Wendell Carter Jr. is your guy. He's going to be massive in the NBA in terms of his defensive versatility and what he's going to be able to do on that side of the court. So, again, Knicks fans, I know he won't be the flashiest pick in the draft, but if Wendell Carter Jr. is on the board at 9, you better pray that the Knicks take him. Let's get to our final rumor. Our other big-time prospects working out for the New York Knicks in the draft. Absolutely giving this one 4 crying Jordans. The Knicks have just about worked out almost every single top prospect that could go in the top 10. Recently, they worked out Zaire Smith and Michael Porter Jr. They, like I said before, they worked out Wendell Carter Jr. for a second time, Collin Sexton as well, and they were at Michael Porter Jr.'s huge workout that he had in Chicago for multiple NBA teams. They were working out Mikal Bridges and Kevin Knox this week, so a lot of different options for who the New York Knicks could pick at number 9 overall. I still had them in my mock draft going in interesting direction. I think with the New York Knicks, you kind of have to look at where the roster is now and what it could look like next year when they go into free agency. So I currently have the New York Knicks taking Trae Young at number 9 overall, but I don't know if he's going to be on the board for them there. But before we go, I want to know from you guys, who should the Knicks draft in the first round? Let me know in the comments section of YouTube who you guys think the Knicks should take at number 9 overall. Do you think they should go point guard with a Collin Sexton or Trae Young? Do you think they should go big man with Wendell Carter Jr.? Should they maybe go wing player and go Mikal Bridges, Mikal Bridges, or maybe even Michael Porter Jr. if he's on the board? Let me know in the comment section who you guys think the Knicks should take in the 2018 NBA draft. That's going to do for me today. Remember to subscribe to Chat Sports here on YouTube or check out NBA Finals HQ, our brand new NBA-only YouTube page, so you can stay up to date on everything going on with the New York Knicks. You can also follow me on Twitter at SportsScene for all your NBA news and updates. But for now, we'll see ya.